A man has been convicted of murder after detectives' extensive CCTV and phone analysis provided overwhelming evidence in court. Following a trial at Wood Green Crown Court which concluded on Wednesday, June the 14th, Wesley Angel, 33 of Clayponds Gardens, Brentford, was found guilty of murdering 31-year-old Karamjeet Singh in Hounslow last June. His brother Nathan Angel, 24, was found not guilty of murder. He had already pleaded guilty to manslaughter and conspiracy to rob. Bobby Dunleavy, 26 of no fixed address, had also previously pleaded guilty to manslaughter and conspiracy to rob. On Wednesday, June the 15th, the trio were sentenced as follows. Wesley Angel was sentenced to 25 years in prison for murder, 8 years for conspiracy to rob and 4 months for possession of an offensive weapon to be served concurrently. Nathan Angel was sentenced to 9 years in prison for manslaughter and 8 years for conspiracy to rob to be served concurrently. Bobby Dunleavy was sentenced to 10 years in prison for manslaughter and 10 years and 6 for conspiracy to rob to be served concurrently. Detective Chief Inspector Jim Shirley, who led the investigation, said, "This was a pre-planned and brutal attack on a man who was lured out of his flat by a group of men intent on causing serious harm in order to rob him." Karamjeet's life was suddenly taken away, leaving his family and friends understandably devastated. Our thoughts are with them at this time. We are pleased the jury recognized the strength of evidence against Wesley Angel, and we now expect all 3 men to be handed significant custodial sentences. At around 0:25 hours on Saturday, the 25th of June 2022, Karamjeet, known as Cam, was found collapsed in the doorway of a pub on Staines Road, Hounslow. Staff and customers provided first aid until the arrival of the London Ambulance Service and police, but despite their best efforts, Cam died at the scene. Karamjeet, known as Cam, was found collapsed in the doorway of a pub on Staines Road, Hounslow. Staff and customers provided first aid until the arrival of the London Ambulance Service and police, but despite their best efforts, Cam died at the scene. A post-mortem examination later confirmed his cause of death as a stab wound to the heart. Detectives immediately began an investigation and established Cam lived just across the road from the pub. On visiting the building, they found a trail of blood starting in one of the corridors and leading out of the fire exit and onto the street. Once entering his flat, they found £25,000 in cash and a large quantity of cocaine. It was clear that Cam had been a target by an individual or group who knew he was dealing drugs and intended to rob him. CCTV inquiries showed 2 men with their faces covered entering the building at around 9 minutes after midnight hours and leaving again 14 minutes later. The corridor itself was not covered by cameras, but officers established that Cam had come out of his flat and been ferociously assaulted by those lying in wait. Inquiries led police to identify the Angel brothers, and they were arrested on Wednesday, June the 29th. Wesley admitted their plan to rob Cam and accepted he had stabbed him during the struggle, but said they had only brought the knife to scare him rather than with the intention to use it. Analysis of both mobile phones showed numerous calls had been made both immediately before and after the attack to a number linked to a man named Bobby Dunleavy, who was quickly arrested. Officers established that Dunleavy was one of Cam's customers and had shown the brothers where he lived. He also phoned Cam in the minutes before the murder on the pretense of meeting him for a drug deal. In fact, he was luring him out of the flat so he could be robbed. Using CCTV and mobile phone data, officers were also able to show that prior to the attack, the 3 men had met in a nearby pub. Footage showed them in deep conversation, and at one point, Dunleavy was captured feigning punches, mirroring the planned attack on Cam. Following the stabbing, the brothers abandoned their car, dumped the knife and burned belongings they had taken from their victim. All 3 men will be sentenced at the same court later today. Karamjeet's mum Jasper Kaur said to the 3 defendants, "You took away Karamjeet's hope, his life, his dreams. You took away my hopes, my dreams of growing old, seeing Karamjeet happy with a partner and children. Every bone in my body misses Karamjeet. We are now serving a life sentence without Karamjeet. No sentence for them will be enough.